For your safety, please ensure to read the full disclaimer located in the description below this video before you start your virtual training.
Hey everyone, my name is Danielle. I am an FSI over at CFB Edmonton. Today I'm just going to be running you through a very gentle, relaxing stretch for yoga class. So make sure you have water nearby just to stay hydrated. You will need a few pieces of equipment. So I have a stack of yoga blocks here, so if you have these at home, feel free to grab those and set them aside. And also you can use a bolster or a pillow or sometimes a rolled up blanket will work as well. So these are just a couple things to have on hand that will be useful as we move through the class today. Make sure that you read the disclaimer really quick that's attached to this video. If you want to play your own music as well, I would highly recommend something relaxing like some spa music or maybe some ocean noises. I won't be playing any music today, it'll just be me breathing, so that'll be great. And don't forget to check out our other social media pages as well. So give us a like on Facebook, check out our YouTube channel, and also check out our Instagram page. We get started here. I'm going to get you to grab onto a yoga block if you have it. If not, not a huge deal. Again, you can just sit on a pillow or you can just kind of sit back on your heels like I'm doing right now. But basically, I'm just going to throw this block underneath my butt in between my legs. This is a little bit more comfier for me. So in a kneeling position here, we're going to sit up nice and tall. So try to think about pulling your belly button in and kind of just relax the shoulder blades that are down away from the ear. So you can keep your eyes open if you like, or you can close them for this part. We're just gonna take a couple big deep breaths in just to kind of get ourselves centered. So from here, we're gonna take a nice big deep breath in on a 4 count through the nose. And we're gonna pull the air deep down into the belly and into the lungs. And once we're full of air here, we're gonna softly exhale out the mouth again on a 4 count. And again. Exhale out the mouth. We're gonna do one more breath, but this time we're just gonna take a nice big inhale through the nose on a 4 second, 4 seconds out through the nose as well. You might feel a little stuffed up, that's okay. This will kind of help get things flowing a little bit. Throw some snot out of your nose. Okay, on our next big breath here, so we're always gonna try to move with our exhales. I'm just gonna get you all to circle sweep your hands all the way up overhead. So nice big inhale in, hands come up overhead, exhale, bring them back down. And again here, you can choose to either exhale through your mouth or through your nose, whatever kind of works best for you. Nice big inhale in again. Exhale, bring the hands back down. One more time, nice big inhale in. And as we exhale, we're just gonna drop the left hand over to our side. Fingers are just gonna gently rest down on the ground. As we exhale, we're just gonna move into a nice easy side stretch. As I'm doing this, I'm thinking about pushing the shoulder away from my ear. I don't wanna be shrugging it up nice and tight. And again, just kind of lean over as far as your body will allow it. Again, we're just starting off here, so you don't have to be a hero right off the bat. Okay, nice big inhale in. Let's circle sweep the hand back up overhead. Switching out sides, exhale, right hand comes down. And again, always kind of stretching on the exhale here. Try to sink a little bit deeper into that side stretch if you can. Push that shoulder down and away. And again, taking nice big deep breaths here as we sit in the stretch. Okay, let's circle sweep the hand back up overhead. Big inhale in. Exhale, we're just gonna take our hands behind our head, just like so, elbows pointed out towards the side. Nice big exhale as we pull the elbows in towards each other. I'm still sitting up nice and tall. I'm keeping my belly button pulled in towards my spinal column, and I'm just gonna gently bring my elbows down towards my chest. So again, you don't have to reef on your head here really hard. Just kind of nice, gentle resistance. Big inhale, come back up. One more time, exhale, bring the elbows down towards the chest. One more time, big inhale up. You should kind of feel the stretch kind of right in between your shoulder blades in the back. Inhale in, exhale. Bring elbows down. Good, and we'll return back to center. Your hands can just kind of rest by your side or on your lap here. Again, sitting up nice and tall, we're pulling that core, or belly button in towards that spinal column. I'm relaxing my shoulder blades down and away from my ears. And from here, I'm just gonna take my right ear over to my right shoulder just for a gentle neck stretch. As I'm doing this, I wanna think about pushing this left shoulder down and away from the ear. So sometimes it kind of helps if you put your hand here, kind of think like you're pressing down into the floor. If that's a good enough stretch, you can hang out there. If you need just a little bit more, we're just gonna wrap that right hand right around the head here. And we're just gonna kind of give it a little tug. And I'm gonna gently turn my nose in towards my armpit ever so slightly. You should feel a nice deep neck stretch all the way up through here and into those traps. And again, nice big deep breaths here. One more time. And we're gonna gently release. Bring our head back up into center and switch out sides. So left ear to left shoulder next. Again, I wanna try to push this right shoulder down to the floor. Hang out here. This is a good enough neck stretch. If you got a tight neck, this might be kind of sufficient. If you need a little bit more, we're gonna wrap that left hand right around the head. Kind of just behind my ear is where I place that hand. I'm gonna gently turn my head so I'm like smelling my own armpit. I did put deodorant on this morning. And nice big deep breaths here. And one more breath. Good, and we'll gently release. Come out of that, bring your head back up into center. Another big inhale in, let's circle sweep those arms all the way up overhead again. This time we're gonna clasp our hands together. We're just gonna bring them out in front of us here. Still sitting up nice and tall. I'm just gonna roll through the shoulders. So I'm gonna push my shoulder blades kind of towards the camera here, and then I'm gonna pull them back. And again, one more time, roll them, push them forward, pull them back. Last time through, nice big roll forward, warming up those shoulder blades. And pulling them back, nice big pinch. Good, and you can just relax. I'm gonna take the block out from underneath my butt here. We're gonna move into a position where we're on all fours. We're gonna go through some cat-cows. I'm just gonna turn to the side here. So while I'm in this position, I wanna think about stacking all of my joints. So I just wanna make sure that my wrists are underneath elbows, elbows underneath shoulders, and my knees are underneath my hips. So depending on how you are built, you might have to go a little bit wider with your knees, that's okay, but try to get that alignment as close as possible. So as we move through our cat-cow poses next, basically what we're doing is we're just taking our spine through flexion and extension. So if you've been doing a lot of sitting during quarantine, during COVID lockdown, this will be a good exercise to help loosen up your back. So again, moving on our breaths here. As we inhale, we are going to extend. So we're going to take the tailbone up to the ceiling. Eyes are going to come up and forward. As we exhale, we're going to tuck the tailbone under. We're going to move up one vertebrae at a time, folding through the back, drive that belly button up towards the ceiling, and tucking that chin in nice and close in towards our chest. Nice big inhale, exhale back into that flexed position. Big inhale in, belly button comes down, tailbone goes up. Exhale. One more time here. Nice big breath in. Opening up through that chest. And exhale. Back into that flexed position. Good. We're going to come back into a neutral spine. So it's kind of halfway in between the two movements here in a straight spine. I'm still thinking about keeping that core nice and tight. Sucking that belly button in towards that spinal column And here, from here, we're just gonna rock out our hips a little bit. So again, just kind of explore the different sort of sensations you feel. Again, like I said, if you're doing lots of sitting, you might be pretty jammed up in your hips and your back. And this is just a good, nice little exercise just to kind of help get the hips moving, wake them up a little bit. From here, we're gonna drop down into a modified child's pose. So I'll show you two versions of it. This one is kind of the easiest, most relaxing in my opinion. So we're gonna take our knees out really wide. Your toes can kind of be pushed kind of towards each other or just sort of out depending on how you're built. We're gonna sit back on our heels like so, but I'm gonna drop down to my elbows here, just in this position. So you can hang out here if you have a yoga block. This feels real good to place underneath your forehead. And just kind of relax here, taking a couple big, deep breaths. This is your modified child's pose, or you have just your standard child's pose here, where we're sitting back, arms are gonna be extended out. We're kind of rocking those elbows in towards the ears as we drop our forehead and our chest down towards the mat. So again, depending on which version you want to do here for your child's pose, this is always a good resting position to come back to during the class if you feel like you need a little bit of a breather or a little bit of a break. Either the modified or the just standard child's pose is always a good one just to kind of hang out in for a couple breaths. So pick your variation here. We're going to hang out there for 3 breaths. And again, nice big inhales in. Exhale either out through your nose or through your mouth. One more breath. All right, and coming out of that child's pose, I'm just gonna throw my block off to the side here. Next, we're gonna lift up into our first downward facing dog. So I'm gonna take my hands, display my fingers out really, really wide, make my hands almost like suction cups here. I'm gonna curl my toes underneath and I'm gonna pop my hips up towards the ceiling and then pull my weight back onto my legs. So if you have pretty tight hamstrings here, getting into that straight downward facing dog is gonna be a little bit hard. So if you're kind of like me, you might have to throw a pretty big bend into those knees here. Again, I want to drop my chest down towards my toes or my thighs, and I just want to kind of relax through my head and my neck. So I might just kind of nod my head sort of up and down like I'm answering somebody yes, just to kind of help release that tension. I'm pulling those elbows in towards my ears, straightening out that spine, pull the weight onto my legs. From here, we're just going to pedal our feet. So I'm going to push one heel down, again, just to kind of help stretch out my tight hamstrings a little bit here. Nice big, deep breaths in. I'm gonna kick my left leg all the way up, nice and tall towards the ceiling. Great big stretch up. I wanna try to keep my hips as level as I can. I don't really wanna open them up towards the side. So kick that leg up. Big exhale, we're gonna bring that knee down in between, not quite in between our hands, kind of in the center of our mat. And from here, we're gonna swing that right leg out towards the side. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn here so you can see a little bit better. So on all fours, my knees kind of center of the mat, and my right leg is gonna be pointed out towards the side here. Here, heel is just gonna rest down on the floor. From this position, I'm gonna rotate my right hand up nice and tall towards the ceiling. So what I like to do is pull my elbow up, keep my chest kind of, or keep my hand kind of on my chest here. Pull my elbow up about as far as I can rotate, and then I'm gonna extend all the way up towards the ceiling. Big inhale in, I'm just gonna reverse that here. Hand's gonna come back down. I'm gonna scoop it all the way through. About as far as I can go here. You should also feel a nice good stretch through the adductors as well. Big breath in again, we're gonna rotate all the way up. Exhale all the way back through. One more time. Good, and you're just gonna bring that hand back here. Legs gonna come back beside the left one here. And we're just gonna push back up into that downward facing dog. Nice big breath. Again, see if that kind of helps stretch you out a little bit. From here, we're gonna take a big inhale in. As we exhale, we're just gonna shift the body weight forward into a full plank position. So I still wanna lift up with my hamstrings, squeeze through my glutes, keep that rib cage lifted, core nice and tight. Exhale, push back into that downward dog. Try to make this as smooth as you can. Again, you might have to kind of adjust a little bit each time, and that's okay. Big inhale in, exhale, forward full plank. One more time. Exhale, push back to that down dog. Exhale into that full plank. Exhale, back into that down dog. So again, if you have to put a pretty big bend in your knees for here to make this position a little bit comfortable, that's okay, but see if you can't straighten out a little bit more here. We're gonna kick that left leg up, again, nice and tall towards the ceiling. Big reach up, big inhale in. As we exhale, we're gonna bring the left foot right in between our hands. We're gonna drop the right knee down, uncurl those back toes, and we're gonna move into a low lunge position. So if you do have extra yoga blocks, sometimes this feels pretty good just to kind of help prop yourself up, depending on how much you sort of need. So again, we're just gonna kind of nice big inhale in, exhale, we're just gonna sink into that low lunge. And we're just gonna gently kind of go for a little bit of a walk with our hands along the mat here. We're just gonna shift that body weight back, and I'm gonna straighten out that front leg for a hamstring stretch. So I'm bringing those toes all the way up towards the ceiling. And I'm gonna walk back onto my blocks, moving back into that low lunge. One more time, let's walk the hands back. And walk them forward. In my low lunge position, from here, I'm gonna curl the back toes under. I'm gonna use that right hamstring. I'm gonna lift that back knee up off the ground. I'm gonna keep my right hand lined up with my left. So again, if you have a block here, this is kind of a good thing to help keep you propped up. We're just gonna go for a gentle rotation here, a gentle twist towards this bent knee. Same side hand. Again, it's gonna kind of skim along my chest, pull that elbow up. Nice big reach for a gentle twist. And gently untwist. Come out of that. If you have a block, just kind of push it back off to the side. Let's send that left leg back beside the right. Back into that downward facing dog. Couple big breaths. And from here, we're just gonna switch outside. We'll do that same little sequence now on the other side. So I'm gonna kick my right leg up, nice big inhale in. I'm gonna stretch it up nice and tall towards the ceiling. Keep those hips nice and level to the floor. Big inhale in, exhale. I'm gonna bring that knee down in towards the center of my mat. Just turn here. Left leg is gonna swing out to the side here. Heel's gonna be flat down on the floor. I'm just gonna shift that body weight back ever so slightly. Look for that good stretch through the inner thigh. Nice big inhale in here. I'm gonna rotate with that left hand. So again, sliding along my chest, pull that elbow up nice and tall towards the ceiling. But as far as I can rotate, then I'm gonna open up. Big inhale in, exhale, scoop the arm back down. Reaching through. Big inhale, let's reach up. Exhale, scoop it through. One more time here. Nice big inhale up. And exhale, bring the hand back down. Okay, from here, we're gonna send that left leg back beside the right. We're gonna pop back up into that downward facing dog. Here, a couple breaths. We should be getting a little bit more comfier in this position here. Maybe we're starting to stretch those hamstrings out a little bit more. Maybe we still got that pretty wide bend in the knees, whatever kind of feels best for you here. Get a nice big breath in. Inhale, exhale. Let's try to shift the body weight forward, moving to more of like a plank position. Keep everything nice and tight. Big inhale in. Try to push back into that down dog, adjust as necessary. So maybe you have to shorten that downward facing dog up a little bit. Exhale, shift back forward into that plank. Big inhale in, downward facing dog on the exhale. One more plank position here. Big inhale, exhale, shift into that plank. And push back into that down dog. Again, from here, nice big inhale in. Let's kick that right leg up towards the ceiling. Nice big stretch. Exhale, we're gonna bring that right foot right in between our hands here. We're gonna drop that back knee down. Again, grab those yoga blocks, pillows, if you need them here to help prop yourself up. Getting into that low lunge position. So again, nice big deep inhale in. As we exhale, we're just gonna try to sink a little bit deeper into that lunge. Okay, let's take a little walk back with our hands here. Straightening out that right foot, toes pop up. Nice little hamstring stretch. Walk those hands back up on the blocks. Back into that low lunge. One more time, walking back. Hamstring stretch. Shifting that weight back. Walk the hands back forward. And while you're doing this other side, just kind of compare it to your first side that we did. Typically, people tend to have more of a looser, more dominant side. For me, my right's pretty jammed up compared to my left. So these blocks feel real good on this side here. Okay, moving into that high lunge next. So I'm just gonna twist away from you guys briefly, but we're gonna curl those back toes underneath. I'm gonna use that left hamstring here. I'm gonna lift that back knee up off the ground so I'm in a nice high lunge position. I'm gonna keep my blocks right here just because this feels pretty good. But again, I'm gonna twist towards this bent knee. Same side hand is gonna reach up nice and tall. So again, let's find lots of length through the spine here. We're keeping that chest lifted. I'm gonna rotate. Hand's gonna come up, pull that elbow up towards the ceiling and reach it all the way up. If you find that you're twisting here and this is a little bit uncomfortable, you can always put your hand and just rest it on your hip here and just kind of gently pull that elbow towards the back. Just kind of softens that twist motion up a little bit. So this is a good modification if you can't quite get that hand stretched all the way up towards the ceiling. Good, and we're just gonna gently untwist. Drop back into that low lunge. If you have blocks or pillows, just kind of push them off. Hands are gonna come down. We're gonna send that right leg back, beside the left, back into our downward facing dog. All right, from our downward facing dog here, we're just gonna take a little power walk or a couple steps up, bringing your feet all the way in between our hands. So we're gonna kind of be in this forward folded position. I'm gonna keep my legs nice and strong. I'm gonna keep that core engaged, and I'm just gonna slowly roll all the way up to a standing position. From here, I'm gonna circle sweep the arms all the way up overhead. Nice big inhale in. Exhale, let's move back into that forward fold again. So I'm gonna hinge from the hips. I'm gonna push my butt back, bring my chest all the way down, try to rest it on top of the thighs, relax the crown of my head all the way down towards the floor. So again, if you're pretty tight in those hamstrings, you might have to put a little bit of a bend in your knee. If you have yoga blocks available, again, these are always a handy tool as well, just to kind of help and soften that fold. So from here, on our next inhale in, we're gonna lift up halfway. So I'm just gonna slide my hands kind of a along my shins up to my knee and flatten out my back to the best of my ability here. Exhale, we're gonna move back down into that forward fold. And again, nice and softly here, we're gonna roll all the way back up to standing. Chin's gonna stay on that chest until we get all the way up, and that's gonna be the last thing to lift. Okay, one more time, a little bit faster here. Big inhale in, circle sweep the hands, exhale, forward fold. Let's push those hips back, push them up towards the ceiling, relax the crown of the head down towards the ground. Big inhale in, let's lift up halfway, flatten that back out like a table. Exhale, back into our forward fold. And from here, legs nice and strong, again, engaged. Keep that core nice and tight. Roll all the way back up to standing, nice and slow. Okay, next we're just gonna drop into a chair pose position. So you might have to take your feet out a little bit wider for this one, but again, about shoulder width apart should be pretty good. So we're gonna circle sweep the hands, nice big inhale in. Exhale, circle sweep the hands back down by your side. As you do this, we're just gonna sit our weight back into our chair position. Hands are gonna come up forward here, like we're reaching out. So again, we wanna think about keeping that tailbone kind of tucked, core nice and tight, and that chest up. If you have the mobility here and you wanna take your hands up a little bit higher here, you can. If not, use the counterbalance here with your hands out in front. Big inhale in, exhale, relax. Again, one more time, circle sweep the hands all the way up overhead. Exhale, drop back into that chair pose. Nice strong legs. Nice big breaths here. We're pushing the knees kind of out towards the outside, squeezing those glutes. Core nice and tight, chest lifted. And relax. Big inhale in. Forward fold. Big inhale up to that halfway lift. Exhale, back down, forward fold. From here, we're gonna place our hands down on the mat. I'm gonna step my left leg back and just slightly turn my heel in towards the mat. So my back foot's kind of turned at a little bit of an angle. So I'm almost lined up as though I'm heel to arch of foot here. Okay, if you want to kind of use your blocks just to sort of help prop yourself up, you can. If not, we're going to pull the arms back, lift the body weight forward, hands come all the way up, overhead for a warrior one. Big inhale in, we're gonna turn into a warrior two. So again, basically all I'm doing is turning my hips and my chest towards the front. Hands are gonna stay out, front knee stays bent. Looking over top of that front hand. From here, I'm just gonna flip that hand up, big inhale in. I'm gonna bring it back for a gentle back bend, reverse warrior. Big inhale in, exhale back to that warrior two. From here, I'm gonna move into an extended side angle. So I'm gonna drop my right hand on top of that right knee. Left hand's gonna reach up all the way nice and tall. This is another position here where the blocks really come in handy. Just to kind of help prop yourself up. Takes the load off the legs a little bit. A big breath in. Good. And we're gonna push back up into that warrior two. Circle sweep the hands back all the way around that front foot. And bring lefty back in front of right. Into that forward fold. Let's lift up halfway. Exhale back down. And nice and easy. Let's roll all the way back up to standing. Another big breath in. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands circle sweep back down to the floor. We're gonna switch out sides next for our warrior sequence. Big inhale up to that halfway lift. Exhale back down. Let's switch out sides. So we're gonna step back, right leg, drop that heel down towards the ground. So we're about arch to heel alignment. Again, if you need to use those blocks, help prop yourself back up, feel free to here. But again, I'm gonna pull those arms back first, lift that upper body, hands come all the way up for a warrior one. Nice big breath here as you exhale, try and sink a little bit deeper into that lunge. Nice big inhale. I'm gonna turn my body away from you here for a second, moving into that warrior two. So again, turning my hips, turning my chest, and I should be facing the side wall. Front knee is still pointed straight ahead. From here, I'm gonna flip that top hand up and over, move into a reverse warrior. Good, back into my warrior two. From here, I'm just gonna reach slightly with that left hand, move into that extended side angle again. Use your blocks if necessary. I'm gonna drop that left knee down on top, or my left elbow on top of that left knee. Right hand just gonna reach up nice and tall towards the ceiling. Good, and lift back up to that warrior two. Big inhale in, circle sweep the hands back around that front foot. And let's step righty back up beside left, back into that forward fold. And let's gently roll all the way back up to our standing position. Okay, from a standing position, let's just circle sweep our hands all the way back up overhead again. Nice big inhale in. Exhale, let's bring those hands all the way down to the floor here. We're gonna step back into a downward facing dog. From here, we're gonna kick our right leg up nice and tall towards the ceiling, keeping those hips nice and square towards the floor. Big inhale in, exhale, we're gonna move into a pigeon pose next. So I'm gonna bring my right knee up in between my hands. So a pigeon pose, this is also known as kind of like a curler stretch. It's almost kind of like a position curlers get themselves into. We want to try to keep our sacrum kind of as level to the floor as we can. So if you're feeling a pretty big pinch in your knee or in your hip, you can grab a blanket or a yoga block again and just kind of put it on that left side just to kind of help level it out, take some of the pressure off there a little bit. So once you're kind of settled with or without your yoga block, we're just going to bring our chest all the way down towards the floor here and sink nice and deep into that pigeon pose. We're gonna hang out here for a couple breaths. That back toe on that left leg is just kind of pointed in towards the midline of the body, so we're kind of relaxed through the left foot. After your third big breath here, you're just gonna slowly come back up. And we're gonna send right knee back beside left leg again and push back into that downward facing dog. Switching out sides here. Left leg is gonna kick up nice and tall towards the ceiling. Try to keep those hips as level as you can to the floor. Big inhale in, exhale. Let's move into our pigeon pose or curler stretch on the opposite side. So again, try to get those hips as level to the floor. If there's a little bit of pinching in the knee again, just kind of come out of this position. Again, getting settled. And we're gonna release our upper body back down to the floor, deepen the stretch. Hang out here for 3 big breaths. After your third breath, let's slowly push our upper body back upright. We're just gonna gently shift the body weight kind of over to the side, and we're gonna move into a seated position next. So we're gonna bring our feet together kind of like in a diamond shape. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here, or if not, you can also sit just cross-legged as well, whatever sort of feels best for you. Okay, sitting up nice and tall here. Again, we're just gonna do a little bit of a forward fold. So again, we're just gonna kind of collapse through the spine, drop the chest and the forehead down towards the floor, and just gently roll the way back up. Chin being the last thing to untuck here. One more time again, let's lean forward, move into that gentle, easy forward fold. Curling through the spine and rolling back up. Chin being the last thing to untuck here. Sitting up nice and tall. We're just moving into that gentle seated twist here. I'm just gonna take my left hand and I'm gonna place it on top of my right knee. Right hand is just gonna kind of guide behind me, always twisting from the bottom up. So I wanna make sure that I'm sitting up nice and tall. I'm not leaning with my head and looking over. I'm still keeping my neck in line with the spine. Keeping that chest nice and open. Nice big deep breaths. Every time you exhale, try to see if you can sink a little bit deeper into that twist. And one more breath here. And we're gonna gently untwist, come back into center, switching outside. So I'm gonna take my right hand here. I'm just gonna place it on top of my left knee. Left hand just gonna kind of slide around behind me. Again, I'm staying nice and tall, twisting from the bottom. Nice big deep breaths, big inhale in. Exhale, try to sink a little bit deeper into that stretch. Good, we're just gonna untwist, come out of that one. The next one here we're gonna do is I'm gonna extend my left leg down onto the floor here, straightening out my hamstring. My right leg, I'm gonna keep my knee bent. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift my leg up and I'm gonna kind of grab onto it. So kind of wrap around like you would, almost like you're cradling a baby. If you can't quite get into this position here, just kind of grab onto the foot. Try to keep that foot in line with your shin bone though. Here I'm sitting up nice and tall and all I'm gonna do is just gently move my leg side to side. And you should feel kind of a nice little stretch kind of through the hip. Just a couple times like so. And then we're gonna switch outside. So I'm gonna extend that right leg back down. I'm gonna bring the left leg up. Again, compare your sides, see if you're more flexible kind of on one side as opposed to the other. Maybe this one you can't quite wrap around, so you do have to grab onto your foot. And again, just same thing, sitting up nice and tall. And again, we're just gonna rock the leg, kind of exploring that hip joint a little bit here. Good. And when you're all done that, you're gonna bring that leg back down. We're gonna put our legs back into that diamond shape with our feet touching each other in the center. We're gonna try to push our knees down towards the side, sitting up nice and tall. I'm gonna turn back around here. So in this position, we're just gonna lie back. So this is usually when a bolster or your wrapped up blanket comes in handy as well. So again, this just kind of takes a little bit of tension off the back. So we're just gonna line it up with the hips. I'm gonna lean back here. This one's good because it kind of goes right underneath my head. Sometimes if you're using a shorter one, your head might hang off. That's when you can always throw another pillow or a yoga block in there like so. I'm gonna open my palms up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna try to open up through my chest, drop those shoulder blades down towards the floor. And I'm gonna take a couple big deep breaths in here. And again, just relax through the hips, let the knees fall open to the side. If you're feeling any pinching or pain, you can always kind of take your feet a little bit further away from the body, or just kind of open them up again. Just kind of explore the position and do whatever works best for you. One more breath here. And you could stay here like this, or you can begin to extend your legs out. We're just gonna finish class off here in this position. If you wanna stay on your bolster, you're more than welcome to. If you wanna move it off to the side, that's okay too. But again, we're just gonna finish off here doing a little bit of breath work. So So we're gonna start by closing our eyes, taking a nice big deep inhale in through the nose. We want to pull as much air as we can deep down into the belly. Let that chest rise. Once we've reached full capacity of air, a nice soft exhale out through the mouth. Let all the air flow out. One more time, nice big inhale in on a 4 count. Out through the mouth. And from here, we're just going to bring our breath back to a normal, natural rhythm. Breathing at whatever rate is comfortable for you. With every exhale, just allow your body to sink down into the floor, into your bolster, into your yoga mat, feeling nice and heavy and relaxed. If you want to still use that 4 count breath, feel free to. It really helps to slow down your breathing, slow down that heart rate. Just gently remove the tongue from the roof of the mouth. And just allow yourself to rest, relax, just for a few moments. If you're listening to some relaxing music, maybe you want to stay here for the length of your song. Whenever you're ready, you're just going to bring some small movements back into your fingers, into your toes. You're going to open up your eyes, bring your knees back up into a bent position here, feet flat on your mat. Pick either your left or your right side and just roll over onto it into the fetal position. You can hang out there for a couple breaths or a couple seconds. And whenever you're ready, you're just going to use your arms, push yourselves up nice and slowly. Unless you want a wicked head rush, then sit up really fast. I wouldn't recommend it. And then just come back into a seated position. You want to take a couple breaths here. Again, just to finish off, just do a quick little body scan, just sort of see how you're feeling. This was a pretty gentle yoga class overall. Again, you can always challenge yourself to make it a little bit more difficult by holding the poses longer, especially the warrior or the lunge poses, adding in some more chair poses, some more downward dog. But overall, hopefully you're feeling a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more loosey-goosey. That's kind of the whole goal of today's class. Again, don't forget to check out all of our other social media content. PSP has been putting out a lot of great stuff over the course of the year here. So be sure to watch our YouTube channel, check out our Facebook, and follow us on Instagram as well.